You clicked on this because you're curious about how people cooked food before 2,000 years ago, aren't you? But really, deep down, doesn't it make you wonder how utterly unprepared we would be if our modern kitchens, our convenient microwaves, our trusty gas stoves simply vanished tomorrow? Do you ever fear that we've lost some essential primal knowledge that kept our ancestors not just alive, but thriving, even in the harshest conditions? Because let's be honest, the idea of cooking without electricity, without even metal pots as we know them, sounds like a truly daunting challenge. We take for granted the effortless warmth of our ovens or the instant flame of our stovetops. But for our ancestors, every meal was a testament to ingenuity, perseverance, and a deep understanding of the natural world around them. It was a daily struggle, yes, but also a daily triumph, etched into the very fabric of their survival. Travel back with me, more than 2 millennia, to a time when the crackle of a fire wasn't just background noise, but the very heartbeat of a community. Forget instant gratification. Cooking was a ritual, a process that demanded patience and skill. One of the most fundamental methods, ubiquitous across countless cultures, was the open fire. It sounds simple, right? Just light some wood and start cooking. But it was far more nuanced than that. Building a fire wasn't just about throwing some twigs together. It involved selecting the right type of wood. Hardwoods for longer burns and consistent heat, softer woods for quick, intense flames. They understood how to arrange logs to create a cooking surface, how to build a fire pit that concentrated heat, or how to dig a trench to create a long, even bed of coals perfect for slow roasting. And the smoke, that wasn't always a nuisance. It was a powerful tool for infusing flavor and preserving food. Think about the simple act of roasting. Animals, whole or in cuts, would be skewered on wooden spits and slowly turned over the embers. This wasn't a quick sear. It was a meticulous process of rotating, basting with natural fats, and managing the fire's intensity to ensure the meat cooked through without burning. The result was tender, smoky, and incredibly flavorful, a far cry from the factory-farmed cuts we often consume today. But this method also carried a risk. Undercooked food meant potential illness. Overcooked meant wasted effort and precious calories. The stakes were always incredibly high. Beyond direct roasting, our ancestors mastered the art of cooking with hot stones. Imagine this: a pit dug into the earth, lined with stones that would be heated in a roaring fire until they glowed red hot. Then embers and ashes would be removed, and food, often wrapped in leaves or clay, would be placed directly onto these scorching stones. Layers of wet leaves or earth would then cover everything, sealing in the heat and moisture. This was the original slow cooker, creating incredibly tender meat, root vegetables, and even breads that steamed and baked over hours, sometimes even overnight. This technique, often called an earth oven or hangi in Maori culture, allowed for large quantities of food to be cooked simultaneously, perfect for feasts and tribal gatherings. It required foresight, planning, and collective effort, turning a potentially solitary task into a communal celebration. It was a profound connection to the earth itself, utilizing its natural insulating properties to transform raw ingredients. Have we lost some of that connection, that deep respect for the source of our sustenance, in our rush for convenience? But what about boiling? Without sturdy metal pots, how did they cook stews, porridges, or render fats? They employed ingenious methods of stone boiling. Water in a clay pot, a woven basket lined with clay, or even a hollowed-out log couldn't be placed directly on the fire without burning or cracking. Instead, carefully selected stones, often river rocks, would be heated directly in the fire until they were searing hot. These glowing stones would then be carefully dropped into the liquid, rapidly bringing it to a boil. This process would be repeated, exchanging cooled stones for hot ones until the food was thoroughly cooked. It was labor-intensive, yes, but remarkably effective for making nutrient-rich broths and softening tough grains or vegetables. Every pop and hiss of a stone hitting the water was a testament to their resourcefulness, a sound that echoed through ancient encampments for thousands of years. It reminds us that necessity truly is the mother of invention, pushing boundaries we can't barely comprehend today. Another vital cooking technique revolved around clay. Early pottery, though often fragile by our standards, revolutionized cooking. Clay pots allowed for direct heating over a fire, albeit carefully, or nestled in hot embers. This opened up a world of simmering, stewing, and baking. Foods could be cooked slowly, absorbing flavors, and the pots themselves retained heat, keeping meals warm for longer. Imagine the aroma of a hearty stew slow-cooked in a simple clay vessel over a low fire. This was comfort food, ancient style, and it sustained families through countless seasons. Beyond the actual cooking, there was the essential pre-preparation and preservation. Before 2,000 years ago, refrigeration was, of course, non-existent. Smoking, salting, drying, and fermenting were not just culinary techniques, they were survival strategies. Meats, fish, and even some vegetables were smoked over low, smoldering fires, not just for flavor, but to prevent spoilage. Salting drew out moisture, creating a hostile environment for bacteria. Drying in the sun or by fire removed water, essentially pausing decomposition. These weren't just recipes as much as they were intricate scientific processes passed down through generations. So when we look back, we realize that cooking wasn't just about putting food on a plate. It was a profound connection to their environment, a daily test of knowledge, skill, and collaboration. It was understanding the subtle language of fire, the properties of earth and stone, and the transformative power of time and heat. It required observation, experimentation, and the wisdom to know which berry was safe, which root needed baking, and how to turn a wild animal into a nourishing meal for a family or an entire tribe. Perhaps the real question isn't just how they cooked, but what it meant. It meant survival. It meant community. It meant the continuation of life itself. And in a world where we often feel disconnected, where our food arrives pre-packaged and our cooking is often a solitary, hurried affair, there's a profound, almost spiritual lesson to be learned from those ancient fires. It's a reminder of human resilience, our boundless capacity for innovation, and the fundamental, unwavering drive to nourish ourselves and those we love, no matter the challenges.